Every night you perform a ritual. You close your eyes, your body goes still, and for the next 8 hours, you cease to exist in this world. You call it sleep. You've been told your whole life that this is just a biological pause, a time for your body to rest, your brain to clean itself, and your energy to recharge.
Growth hormone is released much more when you're sleeping than when you're awake, and growth hormone essentially causes 3 effects: muscle growth, bone growth, and fat metabolism. How many people would take a pill that caused muscle growth, bone growth, and fat metabolism? And yet we get it for free when we're sleeping.
But what if I told you that's only half the story? What if that nightly shutdown isn't a shutdown at all? There's a hidden truth about sleep that ancient mystics and modern physicists are starting to agree on. When your body goes to sleep, your consciousness goes on a journey. The vague, fragmented memories you call dreams are just the faded postcards from a reality that is, in many ways, more real than your waking life. Here's what we're going to explore. We're going to peel back the veil on what really happens when you're unconscious. We'll look at the strange chemical your brain produces that opens a doorway, the terrifying glitches that suggest you're not alone, and the mind-bending theory that your dreams are actually windows into parallel universes. I know it sounds like science fiction, but by the end of this journey, you will never see your bed as just a place to rest again. So as you think about that vague, fading dream from this morning, ask yourself, what if you weren't just dreaming? What if you were traveling? Because once you understand what's really happening in the dark, you'll realize you've been living a second, secret life all along. You know that feeling of deep exhaustion after a long day? You collapse into bed with one single thought: I need to shut down. We treat our bodies like phones that need to be plugged in, believing that sleep is just a state of inactivity, a biological power-saving mode. I used to believe that completely. I saw sleep as lost time, a blank void between one busy day and the next. But here's the scientific discovery that shatters that illusion. Your brain doesn't shut down when you sleep. In some ways, it becomes more active. The part of your brain responsible for logic, reason, and self-control, the prefrontal cortex, goes quiet. But the parts responsible for emotion, vision, and deep memory, they light up like a city at midnight. Here's why that matters. Your brain isn't just resting, it's disconnecting from the outside world to focus on an incredibly complex inner world. Think of it like this. Your conscious mind is the person sitting at the computer, browsing the internet. When you fall asleep, that person walks away, but the computer itself starts running its most powerful, secret programs, simulations so profound and complex that the conscious mind can't even handle them. This isn't just memory consolidation, this is world building. But here's the problem. You've been taught that this inner world isn't real. It's just a dream. You dismiss the vivid landscapes, the intense emotions, and the meaningful conversations as random neural firings. What if that's the great deception? What if the reason your brain becomes so internally focused is that it's shifting your consciousness from one reality to another? And to make that journey possible, your brain uses a powerful chemical key, one that it carefully hides from you when you're awake. Why are dreams so bizarre and yet feel so real? Why can you fly over impossible cities or talk to people who are long gone? Scientists have discovered one of the most fascinating secrets of the human brain. It produces its own powerful psychedelic compound called DMT. In large doses, DMT is known to create intense, immersive hallucinations of other worlds and encounters with strange entities. And guess when your brain naturally produces it? During REM sleep, the deepest stage of dreaming. Let that sink in. Every single night, your brain microdoses you with one of the most potent hallucinogenic substances known to man. I remember a dream where I was standing on a beach with 2 suns in the sky, and the sand was made of glowing purple crystals. My waking mind would call that impossible nonsense, but in the dream, it felt completely, undeniably real. The warmth of the suns, the texture of the crystals, it was a complete sensory experience. Here's the question that most people are too afraid to ask. Are these experiences just hallucinations created by the DMT? Or is the DMT a key, a chemical that temporarily unlocks your consciousness from its physical prison, allowing it to perceive a reality that is always there, just beyond the veil of your five senses? Think about it. We call these experiences surreal, but maybe they're only surreal from the limited perspective of our waking life. What if, for that brief time each night, you are experiencing a different, legitimate layer of reality? This isn't just a fantasy, because sometimes these journeys bring back information that they shouldn't possibly have. Information that breaks the known laws of time and space. Here's where things get truly strange, and you need to hear this. The dream world doesn't always play by the rules of this one, and the glitches in the system reveal something terrifying and profound about the nature of consciousness. Let me tell you about one of the most famous examples, Abraham Lincoln. Weeks before his assassination, he had a vivid dream of walking into a room in the White House where a coffin was being guarded by soldiers. When he asked who had died, a soldier replied, "The president. He was killed by an assassin." Lincoln experienced his own funeral before it happened. This is what we call a precognitive dream, a dream that sees the future. This isn't just an isolated case. Countless people have dreamed of plane crashes, family emergencies, or unexpected life events right before they occurred. How is this possible? If sleep is just your brain filing away old memories, how can it access memories that haven't been made yet? This suggests that when you sleep, your consciousness isn't just unplugged, it's plugged into something else, something where time isn't linear. Then there's the even more terrifying glitch, sleep paralysis. You know the feeling. You wake up in the middle of the night, your mind is alert, but your body is completely frozen. You can't move, you can't speak, and then the horror sets in. You feel a presence in the room, something dark, watching you, sometimes even sitting on your chest. Science says this is just a misfire, where your brain wakes up before your body does. But that doesn't explain the overwhelming universal experience of a menacing presence. What if it's not a misfire? What if in that moment you are caught between worlds? Your consciousness is half in your body and half in the dimension you were just visiting. And for a terrifying moment, you can see what's really there in the dark. What if these aren't just brain glitches? What if they are cracks in the wall between realities, giving you a terrifying glimpse of what lies beyond? So what if you could stop being a passive passenger on these nightly journeys? What if you could wake up inside the dream and take control? This is what's known as a lucid dream. It's the moment you're in the middle of a bizarre scenario, and suddenly a part of your mind clicks on and says, "Wait a minute, I'm dreaming." In that instant, everything changes. The dream is no longer happening to you. You are happening to the dream. You can fly at will, conjure objects out of thin air, and consciously explore this alternate reality. I had my first lucid dream when I was 22. I was being chased by a monster, and just as it was about to catch me, I realized how absurd it was and thought, this has to be a dream. The moment I did, the monster froze. I walked up to it, and with a single thought, I turned it into a small dog. I felt a sense of power and freedom I had never experienced in my waking life. But here's the theory that takes this to the next level. What if you aren't just taking control of a simulation inside your head? What if you're waking up in another universe? This is where the multiverse theory connects in a shocking way. The theory suggests that there are an infinite number of parallel realities coexisting with our own. Realities where you made different choices, live a different life, or exist in a world with different laws of physics. What if dreams are the portals? What if your consciousness, freed from your physical body, naturally drifts into these alternate realities? That strangely familiar city you've never visited in a dream? Maybe it's a place where a parallel version of you lives. That person you meet who you feel you've known forever? Maybe you have. In this model, lucid dreaming isn't just controlling your imagination, it's becoming a conscious interdimensional traveler. You are literally exploring the infinite possibilities of your own existence. But this raises one final, crucial question. If these experiences are so profound, why do they disappear like smoke the moment you open your eyes? Here's what everyone experiences. You wake up from an incredible, life-altering dream, a journey so real and profound, you can still feel the emotions lingering. You grab your phone to write it down, and in those 30 seconds, it's gone. It dissolves into a vague, foggy memory, and you're left with nothing but the ghost of an experience. Why? If these nightly journeys are so important, why is our brain designed to erase the memory almost instantly? The scientific explanation is that the brain's memory-storing region, the hippocampus, is less active during REM sleep. But there's a deeper, more profound theory. The forgetting is a protective mechanism. Think about it. What would happen to your sanity if you held crystal clear memories of flying without a plane, of talking to your deceased grandmother, or of living a whole other life in a parallel world? How could you function in this reality? How could you go to your 9-to-5 job after spending the night exploring the cosmos as a being of pure light? You couldn't. Your mind would fracture under the weight of holding multiple realities at once. So the forgetting isn't a flaw in the system. It's the most important feature. It's a veil that drops the moment you wake up, protecting your conscious mind from knowledge it isn't equipped to handle. It allows you to function in this world, while your soul gets to travel and grow in another. You don't remember the specifics, but the wisdom, the emotional growth, and the lessons learned are integrated into your subconscious. You wake up feeling different, knowing something has shifted, even if you can't remember why. Remember that bed you lie in every night? You thought it was a place of rest. Now you know the truth. It's not just a piece of furniture. It's a launchpad. It's a gateway. Every time you close your eyes, you're not shutting down. You are embarking on the greatest journey of exploration possible into the deepest mysteries of yourself and the cosmos. The veil of forgetting doesn't mean the journey didn't happen. It just means you're not meant to bring back the full map. Yet. So here's a question that only makes sense now. If you knew that every night you were connecting with infinite versions of yourself across the multiverse, how would that change the way you live this one precious life during the day? Take a moment to think about that. Because the person who lies down to sleep tonight and the person who started this video, they're not the same. If you're ready to continue exploring the hidden realities of consciousness, subscribe now. Because what you've just learned is only the first layer of a mystery that goes deeper than you can possibly imagine. The journey has just begun.